Alan Murphy standing alongside Marc Goddard here at the Euro FC press conference launch. Marc, just want to ask you, what's your official title in the promotion?
I'm officially their lead official. I'm officially their head official referee. That's what I will be doing on the show. But the guys asked me to come today just to show my face and show my support and do a little bit of an explanation for the press. Yeah, the guys, I've known Tim Liedeke for forever, for a very long time, and the guys, they reached out to me. Like I said, I'll pick and choose, which promotions I'll lend myself to, and they reached out to me. And like I said, I know Tim, he's got a good reputation. He told me about who they were, what they wanted to do. Everything fits in with my criteria. And they're good guys, and I was happy to come on board. So, Europe, well, everywhere we go in the world, MMA, it needs platforms for fighters. Don't just jump into the UFC, or to Bellator. They need to make their name and learn their craft, and it's platforms like this and Cage Warriors and BAMA and other shows throughout the world that help bring those guys to the fold.
3 shows in the next 8 or 9 months, and then 6 or 7 shows in 2017 alone. Do you think that's achievable for them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the business model is that's the guy's business, excuse me, and I hope it does. I hope it rings true first and foremost for the fighters, because people forget that. If a young fighter is coming up and he's signed to a promotion, the promotion needs to be there for them. It's a two-way street. Fighters are there for promotions, but promotions are there for fighters too. They honour the contract. If they say they're going to give you 3 fights in a year or 6 fights in 2 years, then that's what they need to do. So I hope that they've certainly started off right and they're doing their homework. And like I said, there's a bit of daylight between the first shows in October. In the guys in Finland, so they've got a bit of daylight between now and then, and I hope that they're here to stay.
Obviously, a couple of weeks ago there was a tragic pass in MMA. Joao Carvalho passed away, and that was in Ireland. Has there been much of a ripple effect into the UK over that, like in regards to MMA and how it's perceived by the media?
I mean, obviously the UK picked up on the tragedy and what happened, and rightfully so. It should be forcing a lot of people to look inward of themselves. And first and foremost, again, I made a very public opinion, on my own with regards to what happened. I think by and large, look, this is a combat sport. Same as boxing. I'll use boxing as an example, and the risks are real. Not everybody understands that notion, and what happened in Ireland with a young lad losing his life is obviously, it's the depths of what we never wanted to see happen. But on a statistical point of view, on a time point of view, it's kind of how we've got this far without it, and it's just so sad. But what we have to do, as I said, go back to the notion that it's a combat sport, and that those risks are there. But what we need to do now is everybody involved in that sport at all levels, they need to look at them, look at themselves and their procedures. If I'm going to put 2 guys or 2 girls into a ring or a cage to fight, we need to do everything we possibly can to ensure that it's as safe as possible for them to do that. And that's what's been missing in a lot of territories, in a lot of countries, in a lot of promotions. And like I said, it's the wrong word, the wrong phrases to say something good, because it feels almost wrong to use that term when you're talking about a tragedy. But sometimes it takes for something so grave to happen and catastrophic to happen, and to be the catalyst to finally make a change. And there's some good people at the moment, trying to put things in place. And like I said, to cut it short, I just hope that everybody learns from this and it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, one word that's been brought up a lot is regulation. Can that happen in the UK and Ireland?
Yes and no. because in the UK we can regulate ourselves, but it's more a divide. Because think of boxing. Boxing is regulated in the UK through the BBBFC, but there is still a humongous movement of bare knuckle, white collar, you name it, everything but professional boxing. And we have the same divide with MMA. Of course, it's my lifetime's work to up till now and beyond to get us recognised by the government, so that in the eventuality of a tragedy, there can be a line drawn and a distinguishing difference made that this is a licensed side of the sport, and we do everything we can in order to protect the athletes, versus something on the other side of it where a tragedy does happen and it's, what's going to happen next? Are they going to just blanket ban and tar us all with the same brush? That's what we don't want to happen. Too many good people have worked too long and too hard for the betterment of this sport to have it thrown away. And, we're going to carry on, knocking on the doors and educating and doing what we can. And I'll never stop doing that.